Hey guys, I'm Cesar.
And I'm Carla.
Welcome to another episode of Carla and Cesar's Modern Life.
Episode number 15.
Hell yeah. How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good too. We're here recording on a Saturday, hanging out May 21st when we're recording this. And yeah, we're just almost getting to summer. It's almost summertime.
It's not summer yet?
No, isn't it? I thought it was in June.
Oh yeah.
June starts it's like June 20th or something, right?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Today is the first day of Gemini season.
Okay.
But
nice.
It's not summer just yet. And we're almost there though. It has been warm, but then days like today that are gloomy.
Mm-hmm.
How's that been? I know you like the gloomy weather, don't you?
I like it. I just wish I could have stayed home today. I had to go to work.
Oh, it's all right. You didn't miss much.
Yeah. I mean, I still got to experience the gloominess. I walked outside as much as possible.
Yeah. So let's start with that. We're already talking about life updates. How have you been?
Good.
Yeah.
Just been working, I feel like, a lot.
Yeah.
And trying to put more focus on the show.
Yeah. We sat down and worked on you added some end screens and stuff to them, and trying to make but we're doing pretty good though. They're getting views and stuff, and the My Chemical Romance thing we just put up on Friday, that one is already popping.
Nice.
So there's enough views as some of the episodes that we do.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Before we move on, do you want to tell them what's going to be our next reaction?
Oh, This Is Us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to drop next week. We're recording our reaction to the final episode of This Is Us, which is one of our favorite TV shows.
Yeah, the only show we've ever watched, every single episode together.
And weekly. Because I feel like we binge watch TV shows.
Yeah.
And that's normal because we just get together for a few hours and we'll knock it all out.
But sometimes you watch shows before me, or we'll watch shows apart.
Oh, you're right.
At the same time, but apart. But it's the only show that we've watched.
Every single episode we watched together.
Yeah.
Even when you lived in Chicago, we would save them up until...
Yeah.
So it's finally ending after 6 years.
I can't believe it. What are we going to do Tuesday nights?
Well, there was a long stretch where we didn't get any episodes, so...
That's true.
Because of the pandemic. That's going to be coming next week. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, if you have not subscribed to us right now, if you're watching the show, do it. CarlaandCesar.com is, if you happen not to be on YouTube, watch this. I don't know how. But CarlaandCesar.com, Carla with a C, and then Cesar, Cesar. And you can subscribe to the channel right there, and you can share it and like it or whatever. Do everything that you have to do to YouTube videos to get it popping.
Yee.
So what else has been going on in your life?
I also started doing a plant thing. For I guess I got a client. Is that what I would say?
Oh, nice. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You got a client. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not necessarily getting paid, but I'm getting paid in the form of free yoga, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So I'm saving at least, I don't know how much the membership is now, but at least $100.
A good amount of money you're saving.
Yeah. So it's good, and it makes me I know I love doing yoga, but sometimes when you get out of the habit of doing it, it's easy to forget all the benefits that you get from it. So if anything, it incentivizes me to be at the yoga studio more often. I'm doing it for trade, in exchange of taking care of their plants. Yeah. At 2 of their locations, so that's great. Yeah, that's it.
That's good.
Yeah, it's fun because so when we moved in November last year, we had to downsize on our plants. Yeah. Just because we don't have as much light coming into this apartment as our last apartment. So I feel like I haven't been doing as many, taking care of as many plants, but now that I am, it's it feels good.
Yeah, and it feels good that you be able to do both things, taking care of plants and do yoga. That's really cool. Yeah. Well, it's congratulations to your first client.
Thanks.
First of many, hopefully.
I hope so.
Yeah. And then you said you went to Improv, right?
Oh, yeah. I went to Improv. I had mentioned, I forget which episode, that I was going to start going. So I held myself accountable for that. I almost didn't go. Because it's Wednesday nights, 7 to 9, which is I just want to be home. Yeah. But it was really great. I liked it a lot. I didn't participate this time. It was my first time. And I almost did participate because there's a 16 person limit every week, and I was there within the 16, but then people showed up after me and they were regulars, and I had already like told myself that I was only going to go and be in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so sure enough, I did that, and it was really fun. I kind of wish I would have participated because it seemed like not as intimidating as I thought it would be. But at least now I know what to expect next week when I go, and hopefully I'll be one of the first 16.
That's true. Yeah. So you're ready to participate next week?
I think so.
Oh wow. That's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like I'm not going to be great at first, but I feel like how else are you going to get better?
Yeah, exactly. You just got to start. You know? That's awesome.
And it looks like a lot of fun. Like I participated in the warm up, and that was cool. And everyone seems super nice. And the person leading, I guess, changes every week. And this guy was really cool. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's interesting that the teacher changes every week. Yeah. So I guess you just learn different things every week. That's cool.
Yeah.
You said that it was easier because you didn't know anybody. Do you think if I went, you'd be more nervous?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is weirder. I guess it is less scary if you're in front of people you don't know, because it's like, who cares? Just go home. And, anything that I said, you're not going to bring it home with you or whatever.
Yeah.
That's funny. What else has been going on?
That's it. I am feeling less anxious lately, which is good. I think maybe like getting settled into my job and not really doing as much job searching, because I feel like that's what first made my anxiety really bad, was like the job search in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been feeling good, but just been trying at work. I just try to, like I've said before, I just try to stay in the present, stay in the moment. And I'm really just trying to do that in life in general. Yeah, that's about it. How about you? How have you been feeling?
It's been a little bit tougher for me because I am still trying to find that job. And so the job search causes anxiety just because it's like, when are they going to call me? Am I even going to get called? And then whenever there's like a new one that's like a day old or something, like the post, then I want to get on it right away, so I'm gonna be one of the first ones to answer. So there's a pressure of like, oh, I just saw this job while scrolling, I need to get on it right away. And most of the time I do, because I have like it's just filling out an application and then just adjusting the cover letter to whoever you're addressing it to them. Because it's like what I did was I recently started putting more of like what it says on the job post into my resume, and but at the same time, like all these places are now the same now. Like I changed the resume already, and now I'm looking at it and it's like, yep, it says the same thing, because all these places are looking for kind of the same thing. But now I just changed the cover letter. But I don't know, I feel like the ones that I've gotten luck on, like good, like actual like interviews? Attention, not interviews, because I didn't get interviews, but the ones that I saw, at least they paid attention, was the ones where I just wrote it like from that, like I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna write something fresh right now on the spot and see if that connects, instead of writing the cover letter that I did. And usually the cover letter is like a thought out, more like in detail of what I've experienced, and then when I write something on the spot, it's a little more like, hey, this is my situation right now, like I'm trying to look for this, and that usually attracts people more. So maybe I need to write down, because it's like, it's not like so there was one where I was a podcast that I listened to, and they didn't follow up to do an interview, but I know that the people followed, because I know that they saw it because the people like one of the people from that podcast followed it was Rodriguez show. So I was like, okay. And then that was where I didn't send a cover letter. I just said like, this is like, hey, I just quit. I just stopped working at this place for a long time now. I want to do full-time audio and video. And that seems to like get people to be like, oh, okay, like he's committed to this. Because I did that for the other job where they reached out for an interview, and then I couldn't get the one because they didn't reach out again. But at least, I got the initial like, hey, this is, we want to talk to you. So I don't know, maybe changing my approach in that sense is what I should do. But at this point, it's been 13 jobs that I applied for, and I haven't got anything back. So it's kind of like, it's discouraging, but I know that that's what it's like. Yeah. You have to wait. Yeah. It'll just take one job that was like, and that's why I only choose jobs where I'm like, if they choose me for this one, then I'm down for it. So maybe I'm a little more picky, but every single job that I apply for, like I want to do 100%. So there's no cool. Like, oh, just in case, or whatever, And I do look for good ones. Like I don't want to look for something where starting at $1 an hour or it's like commission based. And it's like, how is a podcast commission based? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
and then other than that, I've just been, trying to not be on autopilot all day, because when you're at work and then I just have like a free day completely, then I try to like plan out what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it is like, I am planning on what I'm going to do. And it's not like it's stuff that, because I've been trying to edit more, but then now like I like editing when I can have the TV in front of me and I can like kind of look at the TV. But the kind of editing that I do for these shows now, because it's so like audio centric, I have to pay 100% attention to it. And it's fun and it's rewarding, but sometimes it's really tedious to sit there and be like, I know how I want this to look. Just do it, like, and it's like it takes a long time. So I do go on autopilot on those days, because like even like let's say that Wednesday that you went to Improv, I was doing the work, but it was like I sat down at like noon and I didn't finish till 8 p.m. because of all the stuff I was editing.
Dang. Yeah.
And then that was the whole day, and now I'm like, well, now what? Like now it's 8 o'clock and now I go to sleep in 2-3 hours and that's it. Like, and that's how it's been. Like it's like, oh, and it's good when it's editing, because it's like you get to put it up and it's like rewarding to post an episode. But when it's like what I did today is like I did laundry and I cleaned up, and now it's like, well, yeah, okay, like you did what you were supposed to do. Yeah, like you did what you were supposed to do, but what did you really do for yourself? And that's where it's like I want to do more things for myself, but I don't know what those things are. And I don't know.
You have been going on more walks, no?
Yeah. But today I felt like it was like the worst walk out of all of them, because I just was like, I just walked and I just played music and walked, and I didn't even think about anything.
That's good, no?
But it wasn't relaxing. It was just like, it just felt like I was walking for I didn't have a purpose, and I felt like I was just drifting through the day. So I don't know exactly like. And
you didn't realize it during, you realized it after?
I realized it during, but I was already too far from the house to quit. So I was like, well, I have to walk back now anyway. I was like, this isn't fun. I'm over this. But I was already too far from the house to give up on the walk. Yeah. Like, because if you think about it, like half of the walk is doing it and half of the walk is finishing it or whatever. Yeah. It's like, so I don't know. I mean, I do notice when I'm falling into those cycles of being on autopilot, and I try to get myself out of it. But the more time that I have, the easier it is to fall into those. For sure. Like I need more structure. Yeah. And I give myself structure where there's things I do every day, like trying to go for walks and stuff like that, and trying to incorporate practicing the guitar and stuff. I wasn't supposed to. I didn't want to tell anybody. Okay. No worries. But it's okay. I'll leave it in. So yeah, I wanted like to do stuff like that. That's for myself, but I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. Because I know what I want to do professionally, but what do I want to do between the work? I don't know. So I'm in a weird place, but I am, it's not like I'm depressed. I was telling you, it's weird to not feel sad or happy, just feel nothing. And I don't like it. Do you feel
numb, or do you feel?
I don't know. Like I feel like I'm like disassociating. Like I'm not really. Like I'm just watching myself do the thing, and then all right, you did it. Now move on to the next thing, and there's no like enjoyment of it or anything. So I don't know how to get more from it. And then there's also like a loneliness too. Like we talked about this before about like finding friends at this age, and I was like thinking about it, and it's like I don't know. Like a lot of people that like have their friend groups, like you already have this established friend group. Like why would I, like, even if I had a friend group, it's hard to incorporate somebody else into it, because it's like, well, I don't really know you. So me trying to go into somebody else's friend group, like I have friends that I have like a lot of friends, and I want to be a part of that friend group, but at the same time, like maybe like I get why it's harder to like want to like put somebody in that, So I don't know. I am not in the best place, but I'm trying to figure it out. I don't want to get too into this hole because it's going to be really depressing, so we should just move on to the scenarios.
Well, I was just trying to figure out, like, I don't know, like my instinct is to be like, well, what about this? But I know like that's not always the case. Like you don't always want like somebody to like psychoanalyze what's happening. Yeah. Not that that's where I was going. I was just trying to like figure out like what kind of advice I can try to give you, but I don't know, because I know for me personally, like I feel pretty lonely right now, but it's because I'm also not reaching out to people.
Yeah.
Just for me personally, just because I feel like I'm in a weird space. Like I've been anxious for a long time, and so I feel like I detach from people when I feel like I'm in that mindset, I guess. So it's like, but that's not necessarily the case for you, right?
Yeah, no,
so
I don't really detach. It's just so I think that with those and like those things of like trying to get out of that loneliness, I think it's just the work that I have to do, because it's like you can give me solutions, or like we know solutions, like it'd be like, hey, let's do a meetup and try to find people on meetup.org to let her have common interests, stuff like that, and I like the social anxiety keeps me from that, but it's just working through it if I want to, open up my circle to more people. But at the same time, it's hard because I also don't love people like that all the time,
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep trying, and I don't want to get into a negative mindset, so I'm going to keep putting the effort to not fall into the same cycles.
Yeah, that's good, honey.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the scenarios?
Ready.
All right, let's do this. These are some good ones. I'll start with the first one. My dad passed away recently, and he left me, a 26-year-old male, that's the person that's writing this, and my sister, a 31-year-old female, his house. It's super unkept, so I've been doing lots of yard work outside in the mornings. I'm out there watering the grass in the mornings and evenings. Every single time I do this neighbor right next door, who's like this older granny, comes out to her porch and straight up watches me without even hiding it. I introduced myself to her once, and that me and my sister are the new owners after my dad passed away, but it's obvious she didn't want to talk. Next thing, she started coming outside with her phone, pointing the camera right at me. I'm like, is there a problem? And she says, there's no problem as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I asked her, why is she recording me then? Neighbor lady goes, what's the problem with me recording if you're not doing anything wrong? It's so fucking weird, and I don't even know how to respond to the situation. As soon as I finish up, I go back inside, and she goes back into her house too. This happens every single day. I'm outside watering the grass. Always the same excuse that she wants to make sure I'm not doing anything else, or if I do, it's on camera. So yesterday I got fed up and decided to do something different. When she came out with her phone, I stuck my ass out and put my hand on my hip, looking right at her.
At first, she was like, what the fuck? But then she got really mad when I started wetting myself with the water hose on and touching my neck while literally looking directly at her. Was it stupid? Yes, but she put her phone away and started cussing me out for being a pervert. My sister told me later on that she came to the house when I was at work, talking about me sexually harassing her, making poses in provocative ways. My sister knows she's a pain in the ass since she probably has nothing better to do with her time, but I still shouldn't have stooped to her level, making her uncomfortable right back. I feel like I'm right on this one, and it wasn't even that bad. It's not like I was grabbing my balls or anything, but also I can be a dumbass sometimes, so I don't know. You guys tell me, was I an asshole?
Man, that's funny.
That is funny. Wait, so he like pulled his pants down? Like he mooned her?
No, he's saying what he did was he just started wetting himself all sexy. Like he said he didn't moon her or anything.
Oh, just because he said he stuck his ass out?
But he was just like he stuck his ass out, like he pointed it, like he was doing a sexy pose.
Oh, I see. I don't think he's an asshole.
Yeah, I don't think that the lady should be recording him.
Yeah, what the heck?
That's weird. And it's like mine. I would have been like, leave me the fuck alone, lady. Like once it happened twice, I'd be, or even once, I'd be like, what? And then every single day, like it's not your house, lady. I would have called the cops on her. She's annoying. The one being a pervert. and it's also like, hey, you can't say that he was harassing you when he was at his house.
Yeah.
Doing whatever he wanted, and there was no nudity involved. That's what he's saying. He didn't. So. She's
the one that felt the need to be watching him. So.
Yeah. It's like the episode of Beavis and Butthead where they find out what sexual harassment is, and then they see a girl and it turns them on, and they're like, "You're sexually harassing me." And that's what this lady did. She was like, he was doing sexy poses. That's sexual harassment. It wasn't sexual until you said that he was doing these poses. So there's something up with this lady.
You turned it into that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. What is it with old people and trying to like do this shit? There's a story that we did a while ago where the lady was like, "Don't run in front of my house so late." It's like, what? You can't control.
Trying to control people in their own house. Jeez.
Yeah, I think that if you're a person that's being watched by your neighbors, you need to do what you got to do to not, and you didn't even do anything to her. You did you from afar, like you did something, and she got offended. So
yeah. But even then, you weren't doing anything to harm her, so... Yeah.
You want to go to the next one?
Sure. Am I the asshole for not wanting to invite my autistic sister to my art show? I'm an 18-year-old female. I got into this prestigious art school that I'm really excited about. It opens up on Friday, and there's going to be a party, but I didn't tell my family because I didn't want my sister, a 24-year-old female, to come. Long story short, my sister's autistic. She's really smart. She went to an Ivy League school, but does not do well with social cues. Usually this leads to her belittling me and being mean. My parents always tell me to get over it and that since she's autistic, she can't help it. But she doesn't unleash on them the same way that she unleashes on me, so I don't think they really understand. Every time something good happens to me, she kind of just shits on it or me, and she never ever apologizes.
Anyway, my parents found out about the art show and got mad at me for not telling them. They told me they'll be coming to the opening with my sister, since she's currently living with us. I ended up breaking down and begging them not to bring her. I worked so hard for this, and since she thinks that my paintings are silly in the first place, I know she's gonna try to bring me down in front of my friends and teachers. I asked if she could wait until after the party and go later. The show will be up for a week. But they said they'd be coming to the party. They also said I was ableist for wanting to exclude my sister. My sister found out and started screaming at me and calling me an asshole for not letting her share in this moment with me. From my point of view, I just want to have a happy night and celebrate this accomplishment, but I don't know. Everyone in my family's pissed at me, so maybe I'm the jerk. So what do you think?
I don't blame her for not saying anything to her family.
Yeah, and I think that she still could share that moment, just not that party. Like it doesn't have to. She is going to be at this art show for a week, so they could just go another time. And they should be aware, because I get like at a certain point, like autistic people, right? Like they you obviously have to adhere to what like common society's rules too, right? Like people understand when you're autistic, but you still can't just be a jerk to your sister in public, you know? Right. Like, but
I think that's what she doesn't understand, maybe, or she doesn't like, maybe, I don't know, maybe realize.
That's what the person that's autistic doesn't realize that, but that's why the parents should be a little more reasonable.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And that's what it's like. Hey, like we know that she gets this way, and I think that it's only fair that we go when it's not the party. And that's why I don't understand why the parents are like that, because like I get it, like she's not going to realize like, hey, like I'm being this way. And it's tough for somebody to have to live with that too. Imagine you're the 18-year-old younger sister of a 24-year-old who's always just really belittling you without their knowledge. It's still abusive even if they don't have the knowledge of that they're doing that.
That's what surprises me, that the parents don't realize how she is with her sister. Because it's like you can't really excuse that. I mean, like they shouldn't be surprised that she didn't want them or her or them together to be there. Like it shouldn't have been that big of a surprise to them.
But I also understand that like it is tough because like she's not going to change in that. I don't know. I mean, I'm ignorant about autism and stuff. So
me too.
I don't want to make a statement and be like, oh, like I don't want to be insensitive to that either. But at the same time, like you can't just be a jerk to people, in public too, and in front of other people, because it is belittling. So I don't think anybody deserves that, and I don't think that she needed to include her in that sense. She wasn't like, hey, I don't want to be your sister anymore, don't ever come to my art show. It's like, you specifically always belittle my painting. I just don't want to hear that in front of the people that I'm having the party with. So
yeah, because it's a big deal. She got into a good school and she's excited about it. She wants to keep it that way. I feel like that's a fair boundary to have.
But and like we were saying, it is about creating boundaries no matter who it is in your family, because I'm sure that as a person that's been with somebody that is autistic, it's not easy. And also being autistic is not easy, obviously. So there's a lot of stuff that, sometimes it's okay to have something to yourself, because like I'm sure she's given the family a lot of time because they live together.
Right.
And I think that's all it is just her trying to do something for herself that doesn't have to necessarily involve everybody in the family. Can't be mad at somebody for that. All right, the last scenario here. I was recently flying from NYC to LAX for a work trip. I had the displeasure of sitting next to a family and a little boy who was 9 years old. I got on a plane in the midst of issues with my diabetes, and I needed to eat within 2 hours, so I began snacking. I immediately began receiving dirty looks from the parents, and the mother said, "Can you not do that, our son?" So I put my food away and figured I'd wait until the flight attendant came around, so I'd buy food from her and eat in acceptable time, just to show some respect for their wishes. So the flight attendant comes by with her food, with her beverages and snacks, and I started to ask for a Coke and a snack box. But before I finish the sentence, the father says, "Nothing for this row, we're all set here." And she continues on. I got up to press the call light so I could get my food and my drink because I actually need it, and the father says, "Our son has Prader-Willi. We prefer if you didn't eat because it can cause tantrums when he doesn't know he can't eat and he's always hungry." I'm close to a tantrum myself at this point, so I look at him and say, "I don't care, fly private if you want to control your surroundings."
The flight attendant comes back and I get my food and drink. I snarf it down and chug my soda and sit back. As soon as I'm calmed and I'm able to open my laptop and get to work, the mother leans in and says, "I feel a calling to educate you about my son's disease." And I felt my entire body clench up. She keeps talking to me and explaining how it made her son feel. And I said, "Listen, lady, I don't fucking care. I'm going to handle type 1 diabetes the way I see fit, and you're going to handle your son the way you see fit. I'm not endangering myself because you don't want to deal with a tantrum. And if you want to control other people, then you book all the seats in a row or you fly private." I recounted the story to a friend of mine once I'd gotten off the plane, and she immediately told me that I was a huge asshole and I should have given them a little bit of grace due to their son's condition. I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, I think that it's unavoidable if you're going into public and you're around others. Am I the asshole?
So before we get into this, though, I feel like every situation, like I talked to my friend and they gave me an opposing point of view. Who are these people that are like, "I don't know, you're kind of a dig"?
I mean, it's good to have somebody that like does check you and like, from time to time or whatever.
All the time
plays
that we've
devil's
read it,
advocate.
they've been wrong.
Well, that's why they're asking.
Okay.
That's why they're on here. Like the people whose friends agree with them are not asking on here.
That's right. You're right.
Because that's what makes people like question themselves is when somebody is like, "No, what about this?"
You're right.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I don't think she's an asshole because she was dealing with her blood sugar as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like if they had, like, the thing is they came on and assumed, like, didn't even like tell her like, "Hey, this is what's going on. Could you please not eat?"
She just said, "Can you not do that, our son?" What the fuck does that mean?
Like,
does he want some?
Had you like met her before and had you explained to her what's going on with your son? No, you hadn't. So don't assume.
And even if you had and she said, "No, well, I'm still gonna eat," then you can't do anything about it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just like, what do you expect? Like, once again, the control thing. Like, you can't control people around you.
No.
So like, you're gonna have to know this going into public places. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we're not making light of the son's like disease.
I'm sure it's serious. Yeah.
But it's also like, why would you expect other people to cater to that? Like, it's not.
Especially if you've never even asked in the first place.
And then it's like the one where I was like, when you read it, I was rolling my eyes. Was like, "I feel a calling to educate you about my son's disease."
Oh yeah.
Get the fuck out of here! Look, I feel for you, but I don't want to know. Like, I'm glad she said what she said. Like, what? Like,
yeah.
Hey, entitled people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope this wasn't a long flight.
Yeah. NYC to LAX.
So, she did say, huh?
Yeah, so it was 7 hours at least.
Dang.
Yeah. Sorry that you had to go through that, but you were not a jerk for, wanting to keep yourself healthy and eating food because you have diabetes. And these people, And apparently the son was fine because she ate the food and he didn't throw a tantrum. So why was it such a scenario where they needed to educate her afterwards if there was no tantrum that was thrown by the child, the son?
Right. If anything, the parents threw a bigger tantrum.
Yeah, they made it a bigger deal than if they would just let her eat her snacks and not said anything. And then if the son would have had a tantrum, then it's like, hey, look, this is what happened. We're sorry. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. And that's the thing is like, and the two scenarios with the son that was sick and then the sister that wasn't. We just talked about that she is autistic, and it's like, yes, like it is tough to have somebody like that in the family, but that's what family's there for or some people don't. And that's unfortunate, but like you have that support system. And you create a good environment for them, but when you go out into the real world, you can't control everything, and that's just it's tough, but it's a reality, and I feel for parents that have to think about that, like every time that they go out, like they have to think, oh, is somebody going to eat in front of my son, and is he going to throw a tantrum? Is my autistic daughter going to insult somebody without even thinking about it? Like it's a hard life, but you can't it's just. Like it's what you have to deal with. It's your family. Like you can't expect everybody else to, and not even deal with. Like it's a part of your family, and some people are happy to do it, and that's what it is. But you can't expect the world to cater to that too.
Yeah.
Because where do you draw the line? Like, oh, this person needs that, but I need this too, and like her, like, hey, you can't compare diabetes to what the son had. Like they're two different things. You don't want to get into that, so you just got to let people do what they want to do. Yeah. Yeah. So
and fly fucking private.
Fly private if you're kind of or buy a whole row where you won't see anything.
Yeah.
There was another scenario I didn't put in here where it was like a person that was plus size and they bought 2 seats.
Oh yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah, and then there was a couple that wanted to sit together and they sat next to the girl even though she bought the seat next to her. And it's like if you wanted to, you should have just paid for the 2 seats together.
Yeah.
So that was it. That was it for this week. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about the scenarios?
No.
Where can they follow you on the internet?
You can follow my plant page on Instagram, Plant Parenthood OC, and my regular page, Carla LaRod 89.
Yep. And you can follow me at I am Cesar Rod on Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow The Rodriguez Show at The Rodriguez Show on Instagram. And if you go to patreon.com/The Rodriguez Show, you can support us for $1. And you get the show as soon as it's done. Everything early. Lately it's been on Wednesdays. That's why I've been working so hard on Wednesdays because I can get those episodes done faster because I have the time now. And remember to share this video, subscribe, send us your scenarios to advice@carlaandcesar.com. It's on the screen, advice@carlaandcesar.com. Send us an email. It doesn't even have to be a scenario. You can just be like, hey, like what you guys are doing, or you can comment that too. So participate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, help us out, please.
Help us out. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Remember to take care of yourself and each other.
Thanks for watching. Bye.